It is time to introduce the SP-2540 automatic Silkscreen printing machine. Now guys, you may not even know that AM actually sells Silkscreen equipment, but we do. And it's about time I show you exactly what makes this machine so cool. If you've never gotten into Silkscreening or you want to learn a little bit about this process, it is possibly one of the most fast and efficient ways to print things like t-shirts, books, diaries, and a whole bunch of other types of materials. We have a basic blue, which is out here. This paint is called a Plastisol. It is relatively inexpensive to actually print. And we have a whole bunch of CMY based colors as well. And also some cool things like silver and gold and so forth. Now, what makes the SP-2540 so unique is the fact that we can put in really large packages. So if you're imagining a really large executive diary or even something as simple as this cardboard box, well, this machine allows you to physically adjust. And boy, oh boy, can we adjust to quite a cool height on this. Now, the cool thing is we can install really large things to print on. This is an absolute advantage over traditional style Silkscreen processes because we're kind of limited to this flat like t-shirts. Here on the other hand, dynamically we are able to change our height, which gives us an advantage to print on things that you wouldn't normally be able to print on. The cool thing is this is fully adjustable, so we can move things up and down. We can also micro tune with all the adjustments that we have on this machine. So even if our book or something is not perfectly flat, we can in fact go in and do incremental changes to get our Silkscreen to align perfectly. Remember, your print is only as good as your setup process. And boy, oh boy, can we set things up over here. Now, we also have the ability, and one or two cool key features. We can manually go in and operate this machine, or we can set things on an automatic timer. So once you've run your prints, all you got to do is part in, part out, and keep on going. So two things that you'll need to operate this machine. One is an actual operator, someone like myself that can run this, and a compressor, which AM also sells. So let's go ahead and talk about the consumable items, because you will need things like paints. In this instance, we have got Plastisol. We have also got the CMYK colors and some silvers, but these also come in a water-based solution. Now, I'm not going to tell you about the difference between all of those things because that's for you to find out. But there is a specialized type of transfer paper that we are going to use. Now, if you have a look, you will see that this is not typical paper. And this is what we're going to use along with our laser printer, very important guys. And we will basically print out our design, which becomes a negative. Now, we get a whole bunch of different types of screens, and different screens are for different types of prints. Now, depending on the amount of resolution that we want, these screens go up to very, very high. Think of it like a screen, dots per inch. The bigger the dots, the more paint goes through, but we lose a little bit of detail. Now, in order to get this onto the machine, there's a couple of things that we need to do. One, we need a special type of UV sensitive emulsion. What we will do with that emulsion is we will basically coat this. Now, there is a bit of a trick because you need to be in a dark place and you need to allow that emulsion to dry. So you might need to get yourself a dry box as well as a light box in order to set this. Because this is UV driven, once we have our print and we've stuck this down on here and our emulsion has cured, we need to then apply a little bit of UV, which essentially is going to knock out the area that we don't have any print on, and then we can go and allow it to flash off and we're going to wash the screen. So now everywhere we have print, like with this scallywag, if you were to imagine that that was printed over here, and this comes down, everywhere where there is no print, this basically will stay behind, and where the sun or the UV did not get to our actual emulsion itself, that when we're doing the washing process will all wash away. It's really, really simple. All you need to do is load that into your AM machine, add in your color of choice, and start the printing process. So we've just done our first print. Now we have a problem. Plastisols essentially are a plastic which needs a little bit of heat to cure. Now you could go out and go buy yourself a really large industrial oven. Those are practical if you're doing 10,000 pieces a day. But on the other hand, you don't need such a big machine. You can use something like this. This is the AM 650 watt overhead heating system. And once you have applied a little bit of heat, you don't want to get too close because you will in fact burn your plastisol, but you can basically use one of these things to dry your plastisol. Thereafter, you got to ship it off to your customer because they're sure going to be happy because you've got a new Silkscreen printing machine that can do a lot more than what the competition can.
AI may eventually take over, but what's for certain is that smart machines are already operating all over the world right now. So stay ahead with AM.CO.za. For 11 years, they've been the leader in CNC and printing machines like CNC routers, large format printers, vinyl cutters, laser cutters, plasma cutters, DTF printers, and many more. Visit am.co.za showrooms in Sunny Rock, Joburg, and Montague Gardens, Cape Town, or WhatsApp hi to 060 600 6000 for more. am.co.za. Achievement matters.